سے یہ کہہ دو کہ وہ دل کھول کے روئے، شبیر کی ہمشیر ہے، رونے کو نہ ترسے، نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے، عباس ذرا زینب مضطر سے خبردار، عباس ذرا زینب مضطر نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے، افلاک میں ایک شور ہے ماتم کے اثر سے، نکلا ہے جنازہ کوئی اللہ کے گھر سے، صلوات۔
جزاک اللہ جزاک اللہ۔ 100 سلام عرصے کے لیے میں درخواست کرتا ہوں جناب ہاشم رضا صاحب سے، ایک صلوات پڑھیے اعلیٰ محمد و آل محمد، بار دیگر نعرے صلوات۔ اور ایک دفعہ اور اعلان کروں گا کہ جو حضرات نیچے ہیں برائے کرم پلیز حضرت ابو طالب ہال میں تشریف لے آئیں، مجلس کا آغاز ہو چکا ہے۔ ایک اور صلوات اعلیٰ محمد و آل محمد۔
بار دیگر نعرے صلوات۔ راہ خدا میں جب بھی چلا بے خودے کے ساتھ محسوس یہ ہوا کہ چلا بار دیگر نعرہ صلوات پر محمد و آل محمد. راستہ کا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے اکثر نیا راستہ کا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے اکثر نیا دیکھنا دیوار کعبہ میں بنا ایک در نیا راستہ کا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے اکثر رکھ چکے ہیں پاؤں بچپن میں جوانی کی کے واسطے ہے دوش پیغمبر نیا کابلی کے واسطے ہے دوش پیغمبر نیا راستہ کا ہی کرتا ہے ڈھونڈتا ہے قلعہ خیبر اب تو فاتح ڈھونڈتا ہے قلعہ خیبر نیا راستہ حق کا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے رسالت پر امامت کا آج کعبے میں مؤذن ہے نیا ممبر آج کعبے میں مؤذن ہے نیا ممبر نیا راستہ میدان دست مرسل جام بلغ مور میں میرا میں خانہ نیا ساقی نیا ساغر نیا میرا میں خانہ نیا ساقی نیا ساغر نیا حق پہ تکیہ فرش احمد شام ہجرت اور علی سونے والا ہے نیا تکیہ نیا بستر نیا راستہ کا ہوا ہی کرتا ہے اکثر دیکھنا دیوار کعبہ میں بنا ایک در نیا راستہ کا ہوا ہی محمد و آل محمد صلوات فاتحہ. بار دیگر نعرہ صلوات. زخمی ہوئے جو حیدر صاحب در نماز میں، شمشیر ظلم چل گئی سر پر نماز، گلگوں ہوئی جب انہیں منور زماز میں، سر تا قدم لہو سے ہوئے تر نماز، سر تا قدم لہو سے ہوئے تر نماز، صدمہ ہوا یہ سن کے صغیر و کبیر کو، زخمی کیا نماز میں گل کے امیر کو، زخمی کیا نماز میں گل کے امیر کو، تصویر تھی علی کی جو بالائے آس، زخمی ہوئے سحر کو علی ولی، تصویر کی جب سے لہو تاوان رواں، یہ کہہ کے قدسیوں نے دم صبح کی قرآن، یہ کہہ کے قدسیوں نے دم صبح کی، دانائے سر غیب یہ کیسا غضب ہوا، جبریل بولے قتل امیر عرب، جبریل بولے قتل امیر عرب، 21ویں شبائی کی موت آئی ہے ستم، دردہ ہوا علی کو سوا کرب دام بدام، تکیے سے اٹھ سکا نہ سر ایسا بڑا، فرمایا آج شب کو چراغ سحر، فرمایا آج شب کو چراغ سحر، شہزادیوں نے ماتم شاہ عرب کیا، حضرت صاحب کو بہر وصیت لا، حضرت نے صاحب کو بہر وصیت لا، ام البنین دوڑی عباس سے کہا، بیٹا چلو زبوں کو بلاتے ہیں مر، یوں آئی لے کے ساتھ قیامت ہوئی، اپنا بھی سر برہنہ پہ سر بھی سر ہے، اپنا بھی سر برہنہ پہ سر بھی بر ہے، منہ پر ملی تھی خاک یتیمانہ جام تھا، پہنی سیاہ لباس تھا کالا، پہنے سیاہ لباس تھا کالا، فرما چکے جو سب کو وصیت امام دی، عباس کو گلے سے لگایا بلا، بولے سوا ہے عمر میں شبیر شب، ان کا رہے خیال مگر میرے میں، ان کا رہے خیال مگر میرے میں، ان میں نہ ہو قصور وفا کے جو کام ہے، ہوشیار تو حسین سے اب ہم تمام، ہوشیار تو حسین سے اب تمام، عباس سے یہ کہتے ہو گئے علی، تکبیر غش میں حیدر کرار نے کہی، زینب ہوئی یتیم قضا مرتضیٰ نے کی، وہ حسرتا کے جان بدن سے نکل گئی، وہ حسرتا کے جان بدن سے نکل گئی، دونوں جہاں کے مالک و مختار مر گئے، آئی ندا کے حیدر کرار مر، آئی ندا کے حیدر کرار صلوات.
جزاک اللہ. ایک اور صلوات پڑھی علی محمد وآل محمد. Before I invite Maulana Syed Rizwan Rizvi, may I kindly ask those that are sitting here, if you can please just thoda sa aage aa jaiga, kindly come up. And as you come up, please one more salawat, ala Muhammad wa ale Muhammad. Thank you so much. Bahut bahut shukriya aapka. Bahut bahut shukriya. And with that, I invite our very own Maulana Syed Rizwan Rizvi to come and address tonight's majlis. Please welcome him with salawat, ala Muhammad wa ale Muhammad. بارے دیگر نعرے صلوات. بر حبیب خدا ختم الانبیاء امام زمانہ بلند تر صلوات.
رحم اللہ من قرأ سورة الفاتحة. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمد للہ رب العالمین الرحمن الرحیم مالک یوم الدین. ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین. اهدنا الصراط المستقیم صراط الذین انعمت علیہم غیر المغضوب علیہم ولا الضالین. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمد لله الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وعجزت عن نعته أوهام الفاسفين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين أبي القاسم محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين ذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وجعلناهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا وأوحينا إليهم فعل الخيرات وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وكانوا لنا عابدين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is the second majlis in this series of 4 majalis commemorating the shahadat of our first Imam, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam al-Muttaqeen, Yasubuddin, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli. Last night, under this ayat, we had focused for a short while on the topic of tawbah and returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And tonight, inshallah, we will speak briefly about the discussion and the topic of ghaflat from various things. Amir al-Mu'mineen, when he was struck by the sword of Ibn Muljim, and when his family carried him to the house, Imam had about 48 hours in his possession. In these 2 days, Imam ﷺ made sure that he equipped his family with everything that they need to know. The opportunity which unfortunately Rasulullah did not have. When he asked for a pen and a paper, أَكْتُبْ لَكُمْ شَيْئًا لَن تَضِلُّوا بَعْدِي. that I may write something for you after which you will not go astray. And the slogan was raised at that point, إِنَّهُ لَا يَهْجُرُ وَحَسْبُنَا كِتَابُ اللَّهِ. Indeed, this man is under the fever and is not in his senses, na'udhu billah. And we have the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, we realize that Rasulullah didn't get the opportunity to write at that very moment. Some people argue that why didn't Rasulullah write it the next day? He was still alive the next day. Or they say, well, the person who objected to Rasulullah, he did not do it in a way which would be disrespectful to Rasul. And they compare that non-compliance to how Amirul Mu'mineen refused to write or to omit the name of Rasulullah from the Hudaybiyah treaty. Is it just the same way when Rasulullah said to Ali, "Oh Ali, remove my name," or remove Rasulullah from my name? Imam Ali denied. He said, "No, Rasulullah, I can't do that." They said, well, same thing is over here. Rasulullah asked, and Umar denied by saying, Hasbuna Kitabullah. We've discussed this before, and because the discussion came about very quickly, there are two different things. Over there, Amirul Mu'mineen refused to write because out of love and respect to Rasulullah, that I cannot imagine the name of Muhammad without Rasulullah. And Rasulullah, after Imam refused, although some riwayat mention Imam didn't refuse Rasulullah, rather the person who had asked Imam to remove the name Rasulullah. He said, if we believed in him as Rasul, we wouldn't have this whole argument. We don't believe in him as a Rasul. So even Rasul didn't ask Ali, it was someone else. But nonetheless, hypothetically speaking, even if it was Rasul, and Ali did refuse, it was out of respect and honor to Rasulullah. And after which Rasulullah showed love and compassion to Ali. But on this occasion, when they deprived Rasulullah pen and paper, Rasulullah was not sending out love to them. He said, "Qumu indi," or "Qumu anni." Get up and leave. I don't want you over here. When do you say that? I'm sure it has happened in your life. When someone is disturbing you, bothering you, you say, just leave. I don't want you over here. That's not out of love. You're showing your true emotions that you don't want the presence of that individual over here. Maybe later on you'll accept them, but right now, get up and leave. These are the exact words that are quoted in Bukhari. That Rasulullah said to them, leave. So there's a huge difference between the first incident and the second incident. First incident cannot be compared with the second incident. And I'll move forward. Rasulullah did not want to write anything. That's my assessment. What was there to write? He has already delivered the message for the period of 23 years. Because that is one of the other arguments that they raise. That we have Quran, everything is in Quran, we don't need anything else from Rasul. True, Rasul didn't want to write anything. Rasul had given everything to you. 23 years, is it not enough for him to give instructions to the people? So then why such a unnecessary, my words, why such taqaza from the people at that last moment of his life? Because a lot of times, things that you say at the last moment are very valuable. But Rasul had already given all the valuable stuff that we needed. Al-yawm akmaltu lakum deenakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-islam deena. Deen is mukammal. The itmam ni'mat has been done, and Allah has already chosen and is satisfied with the religion of Islam from you. There's nothing else to write. So the only explanation could be that Rasulullah was doing what he was following the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also gave a command which was puzzling. Amongst the angels, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to them, go ahead and do sajda to Adam. These angels who are doing sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the past 6,000 years, amongst them is Iblis. While the angels are unaware of the reality of Iblis, Allah knows him. Allah wanted these angels to see the real face of Iblis. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this unusual command. فَإِذَا صَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. And then go ahead and do sajda. Everybody did, illa Iblis, aba wastakbara wa kana min al-kafirin. Iblis refused to do sajda. All those dalail that he presented, that I am better than him, ana khayrun minhu, khalaqtani min nar wa khalaqtahu min teen, all of those things are there. But he said also one more thing. Allah said he refused to do sajda, illa Iblis, aba wastakbara wa kana min al-kafirin. Abba means what? He refused. He did not follow the command. Istakbara, he showed arrogance. And the third one is the key word over here. Wakana minal kafirin. You have been fooled by his ibadat. He was always amongst the kuffar. This rejection, Abba, rejection. Takabbur, arrogance. But he had always been amongst the kuffar. You were failing to see it. So Allah wanted to show the angels the true face of Iblis. Rasulullah, following the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, amongst the mu'mineen, wanted to show the face of the person who would be problem afterwards. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. I refrain from using the word Iblis, although could have been befitting over here. But nonetheless, here we see that Amirul Mu'mineen got the opportunity to write and to say. Rasul was deprived of it. When Imam got the opportunity, what did he suggest? He gave this wasiyah. Lamma daraba, when he was struck by the sword, he gave this wasiyah in which he said, Allah, Allah, fil aitam. By God, don't forget the yatim. Allah, Allah, fil Quran. By God, don't be heedless regarding this Quran. Allah, Allah, fi baytillah. By God, don't be heedless and neglectful regarding the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all of the segments that Imam mentioned, inshallah, maybe in the nights to come, I will read some of them. Imam began by saying, do not be ghafil. Do not neglect these things. When it comes to yatim, don't be neglectful. When it comes to Quran, don't neglect it. When it comes to the house of Allah, don't abandon it. Therefore, ghaflat is something which Imam is trying to draw our attentions to. Hence, our discussion tonight, for a brief time before I get into some of the fadail, is about ghaflat. What is this ghaflat? You know, there are many illnesses that are mentioned in Quran. One of the illnesses that is mentioned in Quran is nifaq, hasad, jealousy, fisq, fujur. All of these are different illnesses that are mentioned in Quran. But the root of many of these illnesses is ghaflat. That's how important it is. And therefore it's been divided, there's a discussion about it. It's been divided into various parts. Insan sometimes become ghafil from his enemies. You don't recognize your enemy, you're ghafil from your enemy. One of your enemies is the shaitan. Innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. Shaitan is your open enemy. There's no doubt about that. He's manifesting and calling and proclaiming and announcing his enmity towards you. So never take shaitan to be a friend of yours. Shaitan promised. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kicked him out of that paradise, he promised what? He said, فَبِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي لَأَقْعُدَنَّ عَلَى صِرَاطِكَ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. I will go ahead and mislead all of them. I'll sit on your sirat mustaqim. I will sit on the sirat mustaqim. That's why, I'm sure you've heard from me before as well, Shaitan doesn't sit outside of the clubs and the areas of lahav and la'ab, because he's already driven people to those areas of lahav and la'ab. Shaitan sits right outside of the houses of worship. That's where he sits. Why? People that are coming over here are denying Shaitan's rule, and that's why they're present over here. So this is where his targets are. He said, I'll sit on Siratak al-Mustaqim, Masjid, Imam Barga, areas of ibadat are Sirat Mustaqim. Ayat of Quran says he wants to sit on this Sirat Mustaqim. To do what? To misguide people. ثُمَّ لَآتِيَنَّهُمْ, that I will come. And shimalihim wa an yamin, I will come from the right side and the left side, and from the front and from behind. I will not leave and will remain relentless, continue to be bringing people into ghaflat. All he does, he wants to bring you to ghaflat. He wants to make you ghafil. Once he has installed this chip of ghaflat in you, then you start doing what he wants you to do. That's persistence. And he doesn't give up. It's not like he's tired now. I've been, saying no to him for all these years. Maybe he's tired from me. No, he's not tired. Perseverance. He's got a whole army. In fact, he challenged Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a riwayat that mentions that Hazrat Isa tried to, speak to shaitan and to reason with him. That, oh shaitan, give up your, misdeeds and believe in Allah. The way once you used to prostrate in front of him. And shaitan said, why should I do so? I have a bigger army than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have more people. I have more followers than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You think I'm going to follow them? I'm going to follow him? I'm going to leave? When I have a bigger army, I'm superior. So of course, Hazrat Isa knew that it was no way, but still wanted to prove that point. So shaitan does this, so you know your enemy. Therefore, your first ghaflat is from your enemies. Second ghaflat is from this world itself, this dunya. This dunya also makes you ghafil. The colors of this world, the amenities of this world. فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا. Ayat of Quran. فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمْ. غَرَّ, يَغُرُّ over here means deceiving. Don't let this world deceive you, meaning put you into ghaflat. After world, when it causes this ghaflat into us, we even neglect some of the most basic wajibat. Some of the things that are related to this world, it ends up being the reason that we are ghafil when it comes to our daily prayers. We are ghafil with our daily wajibat. We forego and let go of them. A lot of time, people say, Maulana, what do we do that our children become punctual when it comes to salat? This is easy. The way you can do that is that you become punctual in salat. The moment you became punctual in salat, you'll see your children are also punctual in salat. And on a personal note, I'll mention this. That mashallah, since the establishment of this facility, The salat that happens on daily basis, regular basis. I've personally seen that because of the elders of this one family, they attend the regular salat, it has passed down to their children, they too attend this regular salat. The second generation has started following, now you see the third generation is also following suit. Why? Because they gave importance to it. They'll be here for Maghrib Salat, they'll be here for Salat Dhuhr, they'll be here. And it's not just when they're here, wherever they go. First, their preference is given to the time of Salat. And not just praying at home. Let's go to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and pray there. Why? Because of the importance that Salat has in the house of Allah. When you pray by yourself, you don't know if it's going to be accepted or not. The khudu and the khushu and all of those things are established or not. That maqam which Masumeen had, Amirul Mu'mineen used to stand up at night time, even his enemies would go ahead and praise Ali for his ibadat. When people used to praise our fourth Imam, he would say, where is my ibadat compared to the ibadat of Ali ibn Abi Talib? That's the ibadat. So here we see that if you pay attention to it, if you are not ghafil from this obligation of yours, then your children will not be ghafil from it either. How do we get our kids to recite Quran and understand Quran? You got to start doing it yourself. I have to do everything, then what are you going to do, Maulana? It starts, the tarbiyat process starts from where? From your own house. This is all supplementary. This is all, on top of what you have done already. I remember the words from this very member. I think last year, Maulana Faizi, when he spoke during Muharram, he said that we bring our kids to the Islamic school, the 4-hour, 3-hour weekly school, and we believe that we're going to make them mujtahid. 3 hours compared to all week long, multiply those 24 hours every single day, and all the negativity and the bombardment of the culture of this world, this society that they're receiving, you want to counter all that with the 3 hours that they hear on a Sunday? You got to be realistic. Remember yesterday we were talking about realistic and imaginary beliefs that we have created somehow. So ghaflat, we got to come out of this ghaflat. The third over here is sometimes we become ghafil of maut and death as well. We become ghafil as if death will never come upon us. This is where we understand how Mawla Muttaqiyan, Amirul Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib ﷺ used to look at death. He said, Ali is manus with this death. Ali is so fond of this death, just like a child is fond of the chest of his mother. That's my fondness to death and Qayamat. So here, we need to make sure that this ghaflat does not take over us. Therefore, we realize there was an incident where Salman Farisi, he came and he asked Amirul Mu'mineen regarding this concept. And he said, Ajibtu lisittin, I'm surprised at 6 people. Adhakani thalathun, 3 of them make me laugh. Wa thalathun abkatani, and 3 of them make me weep. 6 people. 3 make me laugh and 3 make me weep. What are these 3 that make him laugh? Or those 3 that makes him weep? He said, the 3 that make me weep, number 1, the separation from my beloved ones. Who? Rasul and his ashab. He said, that's something which is hard for me. Just like you. When you lose a loved one, when you remember them, on and off, when their barsi comes about, you get emotional. You remember them. That makes you weep. Nothing wrong with that. You show emotion and you shed some tears and you remember them. Imam said the same thing. 3 things that make me weep. Number 1 is loss of Rasulullah and his followers. Number two, the terror of the grave is something which makes me weep. Number three, he says, and standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, the Majestic, makes me weep. Of course, I'm going through it quickly without explaining, relying on your understanding. He said, these are the three things that make me weep. But then there are three things that make me laugh. What are these three things? He said, as far as that makes me laugh, a seeker of the world while death is seeking him. A person who goes after this world, running after it, and never be able to catch it, while the death is coming right behind him. He said, heedless, ghafil, a heedless person while he's not being neglected himself. This is where Imam wants you to ponder a little bit. He says, someone who's ghafil, but Allah is not ghafil from him. He is ghafil from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is ghafil from his surrounding. He is ghafil from everything that is happening. But he thinks that just like I am ghafil, Allah is also ghafil from me. No, that is not the case. And lastly, the one who laughs with his mouth full, not knowing whether Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with him or angry with him. He said, make sure. But of course, the other ones are not Morid Kalam over here. The one is the one where ghaflat comes into play. That how sometimes, Amirul Mu'mineen in Nahj al-Balagha, there are 6 sermons alone where Imam emphasizes the need to come out of this ghaflat, or the elements of this ghaflat, or things that lead you towards ghaflat. Inshallah, we have a series that is going on Sunday morning. If you have the opportunity to come for Salatul Fajr, we are going through khutbah by khutbah and we're covering some of them. Imam, in one of those khutbahs, number 175, I don't know when we will get to 175, we're only on 25 right now. Imam says the following. He says, this is ghaflat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, Ayyuhan nas, ghayrul maghful anhum, wattarikuna wal makhudhu minhum. O people, the negligent of Allah, but not neglected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, the same point. You are neglecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not neglecting you for a moment. And those who miss doing the good acts, but are to be caught later on. How is it that I see you becoming removed from Allah and becoming interested in other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Of course, that has to do with the mahal that you are in, the environment that you provide, where we see the tanazzul of akhlaqiyat in our societies, the downfall of ethics within communities. That back in the day means 20 years ago, when I used to visit some of these friends now who are, mashallah, themselves, sahib aulad, when they were attending Rutgers and different universities. So they'd invite us over, we'll go hang out with them. And alhamdulillah, we don't see anything problematic, although problems existed even back then. Or if anyone, na'udhu billah, was in something wrong, they would make sure they keep it hidden. They had at least the sharm and haya to not do it openly. But what 10, 15, 20 years have done now, there's no fear. And they're right. If they're not fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why do they need to fear from you and I? But you and I were always like, Allah knows everything, let me hide it from this person. I don't want my neighbor finding out about it. I don't want my friend finding out about it. I don't want my colleague and my co-worker finding out about it. The world knows about it, that's fine. Now we do haram and we post it on various platforms, as if it's something of kamal that we have achieved. If this isn't ghaflat, then what is? Imam alayhi salatu wasalam very clearly highlighted over here that you might be neglecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but Allah is not going to neglect you. You will be held accountable for all of that. So what is the solution to this ghaflat? Imam gives solutions as well. He said how to come out of this ghaflat. One is mawizah. continue to give advice to yourself or listen to the advices that are given to you. Don't be like the followers of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam. Whenever Hazrat Nuh would speak to them, فَجَعَلُوا أَصَابِعَهُمْ فِي آذَانِهِمْ. They would put and place their fingers in their ears, or they would put chadar upon their heads, while Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam would be talking to them. No. That's another reason for ghaflat. So mau'izah is going to bring you out of ghaflat. Number two, qira'at of Quran is going to keep you away from this ghaflat as well. Then he says, that which keeps you away from ghaflat, the biggest of the elements that can keep you away from this ghaflat is zikrul maut. He said, Maulana, if we talk about maut, then maut will come upon us right away. Kasrat-e-zikr of maut is not going to la yastaqdimuna wa la yastakhirun. Quran says this. If you talk too much about maut, it's not going to bring it close to you, nor is going to bring it away from you if you don't talk about it. Visiting the graveyards is not going to bring maut to your house. If anything, this maut and the dhikr of maut can bring you out of the ghaflat that you have found yourself to be in. So therefore, it is important. The kalam of our sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi wasalam says, this is from his words, dhikrul mawti yumitu shahawat fi nafsi wa yaqta'u manabit al-ghaflat. Dhikr maut not only gives you control over your desires, but also it cuts off the roots of heedlessness. Not just heedlessness itself, it cuts off the roots of it. There are two ayat in Quran, and I like reciting these two ayat often. One where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, La tattabi'u shaytan. And in another place Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, La tattabi'u khutuwat shaytan. What is the difference? One place Allah says, don't follow shaitan, don't do ittiba of shaitan. At another place He says, don't do ittiba of the footsteps of shaitan. Pretty much both are the same thing, isn't it? Following shaitan or following the footsteps of shaitan. Now sometimes when you follow the footsteps, you are now getting into that trouble. You're eventually headed in that direction. There's a difference. The second one is emphasizing even more. Kind of like what Hazrat Isa said to his followers. He said, Musa alayhi wasalam told you, an la taznu. Do not commit adultery. I am telling you, not even think about committing adultery. There's a difference. He just told you to stay away from the haram act. I'm telling you to stay away from even thinking about the haram act. Why? The moment the thought comes into your mind, gradually, eventually, you have let shaitan in and giving him access, and he'll take you to this direction. Or better example, ulama akhlaq give, imagine a fresh paint in the room, and you build a fire or lit a fire in the room. Even if you don't burn down the walls, the ashes that are flying, what will they do? They'll stain the wall. He said that's what the thought of committing this act will do, eventually lead you to that path as well. So therefore, Quran clearly forbids and prohibits us when it says, لَقَدْ كُنْتَ فِي غَفْلَةٍ مِّنْ هَذَا فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ الْحَدِيدِ. This is too late though. This is way late. This is when Allah is saying that you are now present in Qayamat, now you're seeing all of this. But it's too late at that time. لَقَدْ كُنْتَ, you were فِي غَفْلَةٍ about all of this. But now you're standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's no way for you to go ahead and get rid of this illness from yourself. Salawat biji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, life, zindagi ba bandagi. Not zindagi ba bardagi. Life with servitude. Life not in slavery to others. That's the life that you want to live. Life in servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the life is in servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will be able to refrain from this ghaflat that on and off knocks on our door. Amir al-Mu'mineen, when he was struck by the sword, one thing that he tried to instill in the hearts and the minds of his family members first and foremost. But Imam said this, it wasn't just for his children, this wasiyat. وَمَنْ بَلَغْ, and whoever reaches, or this kalam, whoever hears this kalam, this wasiyat is for all of them. When he says Allah, Allah fil Quran, meaning you and I should not be neglectful of this Quran. When he says Allah, Allah fil aitam, we need to make sure the yatim in our communities, in our societies are not neglected. We need to take care of them. And that's why Imam would never let an opportunity pass by where he could go ahead and lend a hand and help out. Last night, I mentioned two of Imam's incidents in the time of Khalifa Awwal. Tonight, I want to mention two of Imam's qazawa in the time of Khalifa Dawwam with your loud nare salawat. You've heard this sentence, Lawla Aliyun lahalaka Umar. Umar had said, the second Khalifa had said this on numerous occasions. I found in this book where all of the qadaya of Imam Ali are mentioned, they're close to 35 places or more that he says, Lawla Aliyun lahalaka Umar. And this is not in our Manabe ahadith, this is in Manabe ahadith of both Shia and Sunni. He said, Lawla Aliyun lahalaka Umar. If it wasn't for Ali, Umar would have perished. Why? Because of lack of ilm and ghaflat, what I was about to do. So one of the incidents is that Ata Umar ibn al-Khattab bi imra'atin hamil. That a lady was brought in front of Umar ibn al-Khattab who was hamil. You know, there's some words in Arabic, they have the masculine and they have the feminine. So you have the word sadiq, you add this ta marbuta at the end, becomes sadiqah. You have, similar words where you add the ta at the end and it becomes the feminine. But there's some words which are exclusively for women, so you don't need the ta at the end. So ha'id is only going to be applied to women, so you don't need to say ha'idha, for example. Hamil is only going to be a woman, so you don't have to say, maybe someone will challenge me, Maulana, no, hamil now could be to both genders. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So a lady was brought, she was hamil. Not hamila, hamil. In Arabic it's hamil, because it's only applied to the women. And she was accused of, adultery. And so Umar right away announced the punishment that she should be stoned. فَرَجْمَهَا بِرَجْمِهَا فَتَلَقَّاهُ عَلِيٌّ. Amir al-Mu'mineen heard about this, he came, he said, فَقَالْ مَا بَالَ هَذِهِ. What are you doing? فَقَالُوا أَمَرَ عُمَرْ بِرَجْمِهَا. Umar has announced or given the hukm to go ahead and, stone her because of the action and the amal that she's done. Because that's the punishment of an adulteress. فَرُدَّهَا عَلِيٌّ. Imam Ali returned her. He said, no, take her back. وَقَالْ هَذَا سُلْطَانُكَ عَلَى مَا فِي بَطْنِهَا. You have authority over that which is in her belly, in her womb. You might have authority to give punishment to her, but what about that child which is in the womb of this mother? وَلَعَلَّكَ انْتَهَرَتْهَا وَأَخْفَتَهَا. It is possible that you will take the life of that innocent child that is in the womb of the mother. قَالَ قَدْ كَانَ ذَلِكَ. قَالَ oh, مَا سَمِعْتَ Rasulullah. Have you not heard Rasulullah who said this? لَا حَدَّ عَلَى مُؤْتَرِفٍ بَعْدَ بَلَى. There's no punishment for someone who has acknowledged after they have already gone through the societal punishment. She has been said all of these things. She's going through a difficult time already. That is enough of a punishment. There's no had, especially when she is acknowledging the amal that she has performed. إِنَّهُ مِنْ قَيْدٍ أَوْ حَبْسٍ أَوْ تَحَدَّدَ فَلَا إِقْرَارَ لَهُ. You can give other punishments, but the punishment of killing does not apply over here. فَخَلَا سَبِيلَهَا. And she was given the pass to go. And this is where Umar said, عَجِزَتِ النِّسَاءُ أَن تَلِدْنَا مِثْلَ عَلِي ibn Abi Talib. Women are incapable of giving birth to another Ali ibn Abi Talib. If it was not for Ali, Umar would have perished today. Salawat biji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Here, ghaflat of the amal and to pass judgment without thoroughly researching it. The second incident is a little bit similar to this, but in a different scenario. When a person by the name Hanish ibn al-Mu'tamar, he said, Inna rajulain ataya imratum min Quraysh. When two men came with this lady from Quraysh, fastawda'aha mi'ata dinar. And they gave her 100 dinar. They gave her 100 dinar and they said to her that, look, I'll skip the Arabic. They said, look, we consider you to be amanatdar and trustworthy. We're going to leave this with you. And do not give it to anyone. And don't even give it to us if we come individually. Only give it to us when we come together. So they brought 100 dinar. They gave it to this lady to keep it as a trust. And only give it to us when we both come to get it from you. So for example, if one person comes tomorrow, don't hand it over. A year passes by. One of the men comes. He says, can I have those 100 dinar back? She said, no. This was the agreement that both of you should come. He said, no, the other person has died. He can't come anymore. She was still puzzled by it. So he made her family pressurize her, saying, look, the other person is dead. You can go ahead and do the research and give me the money. It's mine now because we brought it to you. She gives in to the pressure and she gives the money to him. After a while, the second man comes. A few months later, the second man comes and he says, can you give me the money? She said, your partner had come and he already collected it. And he went away with it. He said, well, why did you give it to him? Wasn't it the qarar that we both shall come and we'll get it from you together? He said you were dead. What could I have done? He was the only owner, the only other owner that was left. Now, this man takes her to court. And they bring her to the court of Khalifa. Now the Khalifa says, what is your bayyina? She says, I don't have any. The man came a few months ago. I gave him all the cash. I don't have anything anymore. Yes, I remember both of them had come together a year ago, but now I gave the money to the other one. Omar goes ahead and passes the judgment against this lady. Amir al-Mu'mineen hears about it. He comes, and when Ali comes, فَرَفَعَهَا إِلَىٰ عَلِيٍّ. Ali heard about it, and then he said to them that, أَلَيْسَ قُلْتُمَا. Did you not say, لَا تَدْفَعِيهَا إِلَّا وَاحِدٍ مِنَّا دُونَ صَاحِبِهِ. Don't give it to one of us unless we come together. She said, Bala, فَإِنَّ مَالَكَ إِنْدَنَا. Your wealth is with us. Go bring your second partner. We will give you all the wealth together. Right away, that man said, yes, that was the agreement. That we were going to come and get it together. He said, well, go ahead and find your other partner. Bring him. We have the wealth right now. And we will give it to you once you come back with your partner. Here, again, Umar ibn Khattab says, may Allah not keep me alive at a time when Ali is no longer alive. Why? Lawla Aliyun lahalaka Umar. Salawat biji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And there are many such qazaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen, how beautifully and subtly he resolved many of those issues that were troublesome at that time. Tonight, brothers and sisters, is the night when Imam is going through much pain. But I would say this, that It is not the night of the musibat of Ali. On the contrary, Ali is joyful today. Why? Because he said, Fusto wa Rabbil Kaaba. He's excited. He's joyous. You and I see this as musibat. Ali was not seeing this as a musibat. You know what was musibat for Ali? When he saw the demise of Rasulullah. You know what was even more musibat for Ali? When he saw Zahra get crushed between wall and the door. You know what was musibat for Ali? When his unborn child was killed in the womb of the mother. You know what was musibat for Ali? When he was dragged out of his house and taken to the court. You know what was musibat for Ali? That for 25 years, he saw the killer of Fatimah Zahra and he didn't take the revenge. These are the masaib of Ali ibn Abi Talib. People used to curse on his face. Ali would say, he would worry, he would say to Janab Sayyidah, that people don't say salam to me anymore. And forget that, they don't respond to my salam either. That is musibat to Ali ibn Abi Talib. Tonight is not a musibat to Ali ibn Talib. It is, of course, a musibat to us. It is indeed a musibat to his family members. It is indeed musibat to all those who are close to Ali ibn Abi Talib. You know, when he was struck by the sword of Ibn Muljim, right away, as soon as the cries of Jibreel Amin were raised, tahaddamat wallahi arkanul huda, that indeed the elements of hidayat have been torn apart. Laqad qutila ibn Murtaza, ibn Ali al-Murtaza, that indeed Ali al-Murtaza has been killed. This sound was heard all over the place. Zainab and Kulthum also heard that their Baba has been struck. Imam Hassan was the first person next to Amir al-Mu'mineen. I would say, Mawla, at least they were able to capture your killer. They were able to apprehend Ibn Muljim. They were able to secure you. But the killer of Hussein sat on the chest of Hussein ibn Abi Talib. They struck the sword on your head, Mawla, as you had predicted that my beard will be colored with my own blood. But come to the musibat of Hussein, the killer is sitting on the head of Hussein and trying to sever the head of Hussein ibn Ali. When Ali was being brought home, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam at one point said to his ashab, "O ashab, this is firaq baini wa bainak, you stay back, don't come any forward. Why? I could see that my daughters will be weeping and crying. I don't want na mahram to be listening to the cries of my daughters." I say, "Oh Ali, you're worried about the cries of Zainab and Kulthum. Come to Karbala, their head veils have been taken away." Ajrukum alallah. When Ali was going through the difficulty of after being struck by the sword and the poison was penetrating into the body of Amir al-Mu'mineen, someone said, Ali, the tabib said, Ali needs milk. He needs to drink as much milk as possible. There was not a child in the city of Kufa who did not come forward with a kasa of milk, that my Mawla needs milk. I'll bring milk to Ali, but oh Ali, come to Karbala. There's a 6-month-old Ali Asghar. Ajrukum Allah. May Allah give you no grief and sorrow except the grief and sorrow of Ahlul Bayt. And then comes the last point. Ali is now in the house. He stopped Hassanain from crying. "Oh Hassan, don't cry. Looking at my halat, if you could only see who has come to receive me." And then he said to Hussein the same thing. "Oh Hussein, don't cry. Only if
if you see who has come to receive me. But then when he gets to his house, he asks to be brought to the place of his ibadat. Ali is sitting on his musalla. In comes Zainab and Kulsum. Waliya, Wabata, as they weep, as they cry. Now Ali does not say to them, oh Zainab, don't cry. Oh Kulsum, don't cry. Instead, maybe Ali is saying, oh Zainab, oh Kulsum, cry as much as you can, because in Karbala, Ya Hussein, Ya Ali Maula, 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 Ya Ali Maula. Haidar Maula, Haidar Maula, فلک پہ روکیں گے جبریل دے رہے ہیں صدا پدر پہ زینب و کلثوم کے ہوئی ہے جفا ہوا ہے حالت سجدے میں وار مولا پر خدا کے گھر میں ہی وہ روزے دار قتل ہوا مسجد کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا مسجد پہ حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا مسجد ڈھایا گیا مسجد کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا اور نمازی کا مصلی اور نمازی کا مصلی خون میں نہلایا گیا مسجد کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا اور نمازی کا مصلی اور نمازی کا مصلی خون میں نہلایا گیا حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا
وہ جو اپنی ماں کے غم میں رو رہی تھی رات دن، وہ جو اپنی ماں کے غم میں رو رہی تھی رات دن، باپ کے غم میں اسی، باپ کے غم میں اسی زینب کو تڑپایا گیا، حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، مسجد در جلا کر فاطمہ کا کر کے حیدر پر جفا، گھر جلا کر فاطمہ کا کر کے حیدر پر جفا، مصطفیٰ کے قلب پر، مصطفیٰ قلب، مصطفیٰ کے قلب کو، مصطفیٰ کے قلب کو دکھ اور پہنچایا گیا، کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، مسجد پوچھتی تھی بھائی سے زینب پدر کو کیا ہوا، پوچھتی تھی بھائی سے زینب پدر کو کیا ہوا، ہاتھ پر شبر کے جب، ہاتھ پر شبر کے جب حیدر کو گھر لایا گیا، ڈھایا گیا، مسجد پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، مسجد گیا، اور نمازی کا مصلی، اور نمازی کا خون میں نہلایا گیا، پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، مسجد کوفہ میں حیدر رو رہا تھا کل جہاں ابن علی کے ساتھ ساتھ، رو رہا تھا کل جہاں ابن علی کے ساتھ ساتھ، باپ کی میت پہ جب، باپ کی میت پہ جب عباس کو لایا گیا، کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، مسجد کوفہ میں حیدر گونجتی تھی فرش غم پر ہائے حیدر کی صدا، گونجتی تھی فرش غم پر ہائے حیدر کی صدا، حیدر کرار کا، حیدر کرار کا تابوت جب لایا گیا، کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، مسجد کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، اپنے بابا کو صدا دیتی تھی زینب دشت میں، اپنے بابا کو صدا دیتی تھی زینب دشت میں، جس گھڑی مرنے کو رن میں، جس گھڑی
مرنے کو رن میں اس کا ماں جایا گیا، کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، مسجد کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، اور نمازی کا مصلی، اور نمازی کا مصلی خون میں نہلایا گیا، حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا، ظلم کر کے ہر قدم پر کربلا سے شام تک، ظلم کر کے کربلا تک، کربلا سے شام تک، مرتضیٰ کی بیٹیوں کو خون رلوایا گیا، کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، مسجد کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، آخری شعر کی زحمت، در پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، 3 دن اظہار ہائے ثانیے کوثر کلال، 3 دن اظہار ہائے ثانیے کوثر کلال، کربلا کے دشت میں، کربلا کے دشت میں پانی کو ترسایا گیا، کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا، اور نمازی کا مصلی، اور نمازی کا مصلی خون میں نہلایا گیا، کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، کوفہ میں حیدر پر ستم ڈھایا گیا، یا علی مولا،
نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، 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 نماز نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، اڑاؤ خاک سروں پر، اڑاؤ خاک سروں پر علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے۔ اڑاؤ خاک سروں پر، اڑاؤ خاک سروں پر، علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے۔ علی کے گھر میں صف غم بچھی ہے واویلا، لحد بطول کی لرزاں ہوئی ہے واویلا، یہ مرثیہ ہے لبوں پر، یہ مرثیہ ہے لبوں پر، علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے۔ علی کی بیٹیاں روتی ہے، خاک اڑاتی ہے، جو دل پہ گزری قیامت وہ سب بتاتی ہیں، سروں سے گر گئی چادر، سروں سے گر گئی چادر، علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے۔ علی کے سر پہ جو ظالم نے ضرب ماری تھی، تڑپ کے خلق خدا بس یہی پکاری تھی، مسلح خون سے ہوا تر، مسلح خون سے ہوا تر، علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے۔ اٹھا کے زخمی پدر کو چلے حسین و حسن، غم یتیمی پہ روتے رہے حسین و حسن، یہ بات دل پہ تھی خنجر، یہ بات دل پہ تھی خنجر، علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے۔ یتیم زینب کلثوم رو کے کہنے لگی، یہ زخم وہ ہے کہ جس کی دوا کوئی بھی نہیں، ستم ہوا ہے یہ ہم پر، ستم ہوا ہے یہ ہم پر، علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے۔ طبیب نے جو ہی دیکھا ابو تراب کا سر، امام پھینک کے اپنا یہ بولا رو رو کر، خبر سناؤں یہ کیوں کر، خبر سناؤں یہ کیوں کر، علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر علی ہے کامران یہ نوحہ بہت مصائب کا، کہ جس کو سن کے تڑپنے لگے ہیں اہل عزا، یہ کہہ کے روتا ہے مظہر، یہ کہہ کے روتا ہے مظہر، علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر، علی شہید ہوئے، نماز روئے نہ کیوں کر، علی شہید ہوئے، کہ علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر، رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں کیا یاد علی کو آیا ہے بازار شام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر کیا یاد علی کو آیا ہے بازار شام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے
ہاں جی
خون جاری تھا زخمی سر سے روتے تھے نمازی صف میں کھڑے خون جاری تھا زخمی سر سے روتے تھے نمازی صف میں کھڑے کس طرح حسن نے رو رو کر کی فجر تمام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی خون جاری تھا زخمی سر سے روتے تھے نمازی صف میں کھڑے خون جاری تھا زخمی سر سے روتے تھے نمازی صف میں کھڑے کس طرح حسن نے رو رو کر کی فجر تمام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیا ماں کی طرح لینے تم کو مسجد میں چلی آئے زینب کیا ماں کی طرح لینے تم کو مسجد میں چلی آئے زینب بابا کو جا کر تو فضا میرا پیغام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر کہ علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں کیا ماں کی طرح لینے تم کو مسجد میں چلے آئے زینب کیا ماں کی طرح لینے تم کو مسجد میں چلے آئے زینب بابا کو جا کر علی زخمی پہلو جب یاد آیا زخمی پیشانی بھول گیا زخمی پہلو جب یاد آیا زخمی پیشانی بھول گیا زہرا کی مصیبت پر رویا مظلوم امام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر کیا یاد علی کو آیا ہے بازار شام مصلی پر رو رو کے علی کیوں لیتے ہیں زینب کا نام مصلی پر
جزاک اللہ. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء، السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء، السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس، السلام عليك أنيس النفوس، أيها المدفون بأرض توز روحي وجسمي لك الفداء، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، الأمان الأمان الأمان، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك إمام هذا، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من انصارك بابانك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.